This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Welcome to a very special show. The show's called Reinvent Design. Now, in the world of technology, this kind of hyperbole is out every single day, where everything is the next big thing, everything is the future, everything has been rebooted or reinvented. But today, I'm here at the HP headquarters, and I've seen two products that truly are the next big things. Yes, in the plural, and they are really reinventing design. I have a fantastic panel. I have fantastic products. What else could you ask for? So let me get started by introducing my panel to you, starting off with the gentleman to my left, which of course is Bharat Nagpal, founder iGyan. Right next to him, Chaitanya Chinchalekar, business head and CTO, Whistling Woods International, and lab head, Whistling Woods. That's a lot of caps you have on, right? Yeah. But welcome to the show. I really want to know the kind of stuff we're seeing translates perfectly into what you're doing right now. Sure. And also joining us, Vikram Bedi, Senior Director, Personal Systems, HP. So welcome, gentlemen. But I have a very special treat for all three of you and for all of you out there. I'm also going to introduce the person who's breaking the glass ceiling of technology shows. You know, on tech shows, it's always guys, always men. So thank you very much for joining us. Tanya Eden, she's a graphic illustrator. And Tanya, not only are you breaking the glass ceiling of being on a tech show, you're also doing something even more interesting. One of the products is with you right now, and you're going to be actually sketching in real time on it. So while we'll take everybody through the product, but you're going to be a person who's going to use it. So this is a hands-on review, if ever there was one. So thank you, Tanya. Love to see what comes out of it. And do we get to get printouts of it, and will you sign them, and then can we sell them later? No, you can't sell them later. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Tanya. So I think maybe you can get going while I start with you. Vikram, we'll start with you. So now the ZBook X2 is a dramatically different device from anything else that HP may have done before. And obviously the objective of creating it, what was thought of before in the R&D labs, and everything else comes from that objective, right? Can you take us through when HP thought of making the ZBook X2? What was the thought process behind it?
We, in the global team, started looking at these products. What we realized is there's a trend now of what we call the one life. You know, folks are doing work at their home, and it's more and more blending between those two realities. So what we didn't want to have is a scenario where you're tied to a certain ability because of your workspace and the equipment you have in that work. For us, creativity, for example, is continuous. You know, there's no reason to say you'll only be creative in your workspace or in your office. So our view was, how can we offer customers a technology that lets them express themselves creativity wherever they are? And when we looked at all the options available, there were just choice points which either made you compromise on performance, you know, or you just...
Which means if it's portable and you can move around with it, then the performance is compromised.
You can't do your best quality work, right?
Okay.
So you can't really let that shine. So I think that's what the genesis of the product was, is can we really create something at the apex of what is a stationary product or a detachable product or a laptop, and let all these form factors blend in the background and really let customers lead the way so they can express themselves wherever they are in their best possible expression, no compromises.
Okay, all right. So I'll tell you what, so what he's talking about is something I'm going to show you now. Do remember, this is the HP X2. You may be very surprised once we take you through the review.
The magic of 2-in-1, a tablet and a laptop packed into one powerful machine. This is the HP ZBook X2, the latest detachable that HP has come out with in India. It's got a massive 32 GB RAM, a stunning 4K multi-touch display, and revolutionary quick keys feature, which means one can access app shortcuts through these buttons on the side of the ZBook X2. It is designed for heavy workloads and has the Adobe Creative Cloud applications that it runs smoothly. A detachable Bluetooth keyboard and a pen that never needs to be charged. The ZBook X2 is an impressive detachable that is as versatile as it is powerful.
Chaitanya, I have to say, obviously you are one of the people out here who's experienced this before, besides Vikram, of course. I'm sure he's experienced it. Tell me a use case scenario that excites you, or maybe many, right? But the one that excites you the most, that this product actually fulfills maybe what may well be a dream and wasn't possible before.
So the combination of power, performance, and mobility has actually never been achieved before. The idea is I should be able to, if I want to sketch high quality in good, good display, good everything, good power, I should be able to pick up something, go out, sit in the field, sketch a cow. Or I should be able to go out, take a photo of a tree, draw a monkey on top of it, pull 5 3D elements from Maya into it, and create something out of it. So that kind of mobility combined with performance, combined with an ability to create content, and not just still content, video content as well. That is what is so exciting about the X2.
Okay, but from everything that you do, when you see a product like this, how do you think immediately, what comes to your mind? How can you incorporate it within the world that you actually exist in from all that you do?
So primarily we sit on workstations, and if you're editing, or if my whole team is sitting on an edit, we're around workstations, and we're so used to being stuck to a corner inside the office that this sort of changes that a little bit. For some people, certain people who would like to sort of be around, travel, take this on the go with them, this completely changes that.
With 2 cameras, one in the front, one at the back, is this something that you would actually think, because it's got everything you really need, could this at a pinch also be something that you would take for maybe making a small web series, a small segment for your own shows or stuff like that?
So what happens is that once you have everything combined in one package, it sort of makes it so much more easier for you to do the things versus carrying a separate camera, carrying a laptop to edit the video on, all of those things. So this combines all of that and makes it presentable in a single format.
Okay. So Vikram, let's talk about now some of the learnings about to be launched in India, but globally it's already been launched. So explain to us, you obviously thought of this as a product with a very, very clean, very neat niche, that it would be for people that may need to work with a stylist, digitizer, mainly artists, maybe architects, a few interior designers. Has there been other learnings? Was there a shock that such a powerful portable notebook has a market of its own, where there may be people who may never take out that digitizer, that pen, ever, because they just want the power of what you've created?
Yeah, I think our design center is still the same. I think we're designing for that particular audience, but I think what we're realizing is anybody who demands high performance computing on the go with the full flexibility is very drawn to the product. And the pen and the touch, those are great to have for that particular segment. But again, really, if you just want to do your best work, and it could be any kind of work, and you don't want to be limited because of the device, like I said before, they're all drawn to it. So, of course, we are focused on the graphic artists. But again, anybody who's really interested on just high-performance computing, I want the best tablet in the world, or I want the best laptop in the world, right? But with the power of the workstation. This is the product that just combines all of that together. It's got 4 modes, as we call it. All 4 of them are fully powered, depending upon essentially, what you want to drive.
Okay.
So there was a lot of learnings like that. Just a couple of them more. Nowadays, there's a lot of screens that are very shiny and bright. And for this usage, we consciously chose one that is not so bright, and one that has almost like a paper-like feel. So when you work on it, if you draw on it, it gives you that texture.
That slight grainy feel that comes when you're actually sketching.
More natural.
It gives you that friction, yes. Okay.
Yet it maintains the 4,000 plus pressure points that you're used to.
So I think what this basically solves, and I think that nobody really spoke about it, is that it also solves the need for a person who's not very creative but wants a really powerful machine on the go at all times. So say I sit in an office and I use this. You can connect it to an external display. You can have all that power translated to a larger screen if you want. You can carry it with you on the go wherever you are. You can bring it home, use it as a laptop or a tablet. Everything's in that machine.
Right.
All your data, everything's in there. So you're not worrying about cloud. You're not worrying about carrying data from here to there. Everything just goes with you. And this becomes your workstation. This becomes your laptop. This becomes your portable.
This one actually is as powerful as it gets, right? I mean, this is literally a workstation.
Yeah.
Inside a tablet.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now that we've spoken so much about the product, it's time for Tanya's masterpiece.
Yeah.
Tanya, are you actually done?
Yeah.
So in real time, I thought maybe, when I saw you kind of turn is when I thought, okay, I don't have to ask more questions because I think we've had a great chat on it. So before you even show us what you've done, tell me a little bit about your personal experience. Did you ever use this product before?
No, not until yesterday. Normally, we artists always have a sketchbook with us to go about, and we sketch on the go. So this I realized yesterday at night. So when I came here, I had like my laptop, the chargers, the pen tablet, the wires, everything. So I have a big workstation to put up. So this just simplifies everything, and I just have this and its charger along with it.
So that I think is great, because now we're getting somebody who actually uses this to say the exact thing that was being spoken about out here. But in terms of the actual experience, the texture, the actual experience that you have as a person that is a creative person, how did that translate? Like, for instance, Vikram said it should feel like paper. It was specially done the screen so that the texture feel is like paper. It's not too bright not to take away from the reality of what you're doing. How about the angle of the way you were actually sketching? Did all of that work well?
So it has like a stand at the back which is adjustable.
Right.
So that gives me a canvas. So I have my hand in a free flow motion.
Okay.
So that really helps. I can lay around with it and sketch. I can just, maybe if I'm catching a bus and I think of an idea, I could just sketch it out. So it's really seamless, like the entire experience.
Okay, so this may well be the first time then that digital art could be then sub-tagged by saying created on a bus, created on a metro. Couldn't have been done before, right?
Yes.
So that it's a, so now I'll tell you what, now you've built up so much anticipation. We've got to see what you sketched. Wow. So Bharat, she did do it on you only. It's a sketch of you. Look.
Yeah, it totally catches my hair.
Yeah.
There are things we do, and there are things we do with passion. There is surfing, and there is surfing. There is camping, and there is camping. There is being creative, and there is being creative. There is driving, and there is driving a BMW X3.
Cina memelo, Siburu. Agasu, kore. Hashigure.
We are witnessing something very, very unusual right next to our hotel.
There's a reporter with NDTV. He was able to see a group of individuals setting up a tent.
That's the rocket being fired today morning, a day after it was assembled.
The show where the country speaks its mind.
Giving rape threats to women of your own country in the name of nationalism is not correct.
No parent in this country teach their children to go and raise anti-national slogan.
Your mirror to what India thinks.
What we're following here in India is against the 22 Islamic nations. Even there, talaq-e-biddat is banned.
ये religious debate है. आप इसको सियासी debate बना देते हैं.
We the people, with me, Sarah Jacob, on NDTV 24/7. If you care about it, we'll talk about it.
भाई साहब, आपका लॉयड एसी यहाँ से भी कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं? बिल्कुल।
ऑन और ये टेम्परेचर। पत्नी जी का फोन आ गया, अब होगा टेम्परेचर चेंज।
ये क्या आप ऑन ऑफ कर रहे हैं? फिर से डेमो दे रहे हैं?
लॉयड वाईफाई इन्वर्टर एसी, अपने मोबाइल से आप इसे कहीं से भी कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं।
तो लॉयड लाइए, खुशियाँ ऑन कीजिए।
Karnataka will sparkle like a diamond with Mahila Empowerment Party, MEP. MEP, a commitment to change. MEP, a party with a vision. MEP, a party on a mission. Vote for change. Vote for the diamond symbol. Vote for MEP. MEP, justice for humanity.
You know, even though I love virtual reality and everything else around its category and field, I have to say that it's great when you're doing it, but it's also even more interesting to see other people when they wear virtual reality headsets and the kind of experience and body language that we have. You saw the four of us right now. Well, that was comical, but I have to tell you, what we experienced was actually astounding, astonishing amount of stuff. But we'll take you through first what that whole product is, the backpack part of it, what HP has done dramatically different from anywhere else. So before we start, here's a quick look at what we experienced.
Meet the game changer in the virtual reality space. This is the HP ZVR backpack. Snap on a virtual world where you can create, explore and design, or pull out the powerful machine by docking the workstation. This VR backpack packs in the best of both worlds. It is the world's first professional wearable PC and features the powerful NVIDIA Quadro P5200 and the Intel Core i7 processor, which makes it handle complex simulations with ease. The backpack is light at around 4.6 kgs and is great for content creation and consumption. The batteries are external and can be strapped on to the backpack. Experience limitless possibilities and high-end virtual reality with the HP ZVR backpack.
Vikram, have to start, and the first question has to come. HP and VR,
right?
Not necessarily being used in the same sentence ever till now. So why is HP getting into this business, and is this more a B2B or is this experimental? Where does this fit in?
So I think for us, we, since the split and since we became a new company, we look at basically what we call core, growth, and future. So we have this theory of, you're riding the current wave, looking for the next wave, and the third one is forming. So for us, we're always looking out there where our customers wanted to go and what technology can we fit in for them to address certain pain points. And I think for one of the things when, again, in the theory of design, we said, look, the people want to design anywhere and be creative. And then I think we also said people are now pushing the boundaries of design. So there's one thing to design anywhere, but there's another one to be in the design, right? So you're actually, it's like as instant as you can possibly get. Then once we started doing that, there was so much more that opened up around just simulations. People really want to be able to simulate near world environments.
Correct.
Because either they're not doable or they're really difficult to do. So that was kind of the other one. And then lastly, I think people said, look, because it's such a global scale right now, but we wanted the messaging and everything to be so similar. So the other thing that is emerging is things like training, for example. Where you want to have one message but cutting across. All of those, this technology seemed to fit really well to solve the pain point.
Let's come down to you. Now, this could be, of course, something that dramatically changes everything. Everything that has been thought of before comes in suddenly, and virtual reality could be the game changer. How excited are you as a company, as an organization, as the people that are actually teaching the next generation that will come and create content that is supposed to astound us? Is this a big game changer for you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the fourth platform. So it's as much of a additive to the media and entertainment industry as television was or as digital content, which is web and mobile was. So there's film, TV, digital, and VR. So we look at it as the fourth platform. We look at it as not necessarily a next step. I don't think it's going to take away too much from the existing 3, but it's going to spawn its own unique content creation language, like television did and like digital did.
Give me an example. How do you mean that this will spawn its own language?
So, for example, films were being made in the 1880s. The first television channel launched in the 1940s. For 60 years, the only content known to man was full-length feature.
Right.
But when TV came around, you didn't see the same thing replicated on TV. TV created its own unique content, format, content characteristics. Same thing with web and mobile, right? You didn't see film or television content replicated on web and mobile. It developed its own unique language. So film is captive community viewing, television is non-captive family viewing, digital is non-captive individual viewing, this is captive individual viewing. This is a frameless environment.
So you're saying now that that cliche where a director would do this is all gone. I mean, this used to be the most, the most iconic thing. If you're a really good director, bas maine frame kar liya, ye bilkul theek. Right? So that's gone, huh?
So that's
now
gone.
He has to do this.
No, so the craft now is to get the user to do this. Right? Is to create.
What does he want to frame?
You create your content and you create your shot in such a way that using your craft, using sound, using lighting, using protagonist cues, using everything at your disposal, you want the person to look in a particular way, but still be immersive.
Bharat, I'm giving you the opportunity now, 30 seconds, if you were to actually review the product you just experienced, what would the review be? Like you would do for your show.
I wouldn't do it in 30 seconds, but let me tell you this, that the portability in itself speaks for it a lot, because you and I both have seen so many VR, prototypes and headsets and things, but the way that you can simply take this wherever you want. So, I mean, there might be a time where we'd see people wearing headsets walking in a park, but we're not there yet. So this takes you towards that a little bit.
Okay. So you're saying VR may not be for a captive audience. It doesn't have to be closeted into one place. Vikram, which brings me to a very interesting thing again. I asked you this to do with the previous product also. User scenario. So you said that when you thought of the product, when the HP team got together to create this, they had a certain objective again. But it just expanded from there. So other than just typical areas where a person could use this for simulation, for teaching, for information and knowledge and, getting that out. Are you seeing something else that automatically comes with the usage of this?
I think so we've gone from a very physical to a very digital world. And I think you can see kind of the backlash on just being too digital and too isolated. And I think this one, as it evolves, one of the things it might do is merge the two back together.
Okay.
So you're, who knows how it plays out, but there's just so many scenarios this opens up. And one of them could be just that you have now this creation of, instead of social media, you actually have now social interaction. With physical, I was missing something, and with digital, I'm missing something. But now I can actually, and we're not even talking mixed reality where you can actually interact with physical,
real life
digital.
objects.
So there's just, so many ways this can go.
So you're saying the only restriction and barrier now can be your imagination because the tools are literally almost out there, right?
Right. I think it's the content, and there's a teething curve to it, but I think it's almost there.
Mind boggles to think this being used in education or in
medicine.
In multiple areas where you can literally take a physical object and turn it around and examine it in your hand.
VR will actually give you the ability to apply the concept of deep learning.
So the difference between going to school and actually getting educated, VR could be the difference between the two, right? Okay, last word with you. This is just purely non-HP, personal favorite from what you experienced.
I think it was the solar system for me, but I think there was a little bit, if I could just interact a bit more and zoom in and play around with it, but it was still great, just to be able to do what I was able to do.
I mean, chucking planets around, what else do you need in life? I mean,
as the Indians say, right? Throwing Shani and Rahu around is always fun.
Yeah,
they throw you around, you get to throw them around the sun.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. I think truly and absolutely, when we started the show and I said we are going to talk about Reinvent Design, we've got the right products, we've got the right people, we've got the right technology to actually do that. I think we more than achieved that purpose. Thank you so much for being with us. So there you have it then, HP and reinventing design in every which way possible. Two products which you may think are very separate from each other but actually aren't. One product could create content for the other and there could be a whole 360 degree around it. This was a very special show, Reinvent Design, brought to you by HP. This is Rajiv Makhani signing off from the HP headquarters.